Hello guys and welcome to another episode of How to Ion. In this video I'm going to be teaching you the basics of how you can become an engineer in Ion, either that is the F1 league, the F2 league, GT3, Formula E, or any other league they may add. But before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future ones. Also leave a like on this one if you want to support my channel and my videos. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So if you don't know anything about engineering in Ion, the first thing you need to know is the engineering computers in the Ion League. So basically there are computers in the game where the races happen. If you sit on the computer, it asks for your driver number. You just put in your driver number and all the stuff you need about your own driver shows up on the computer. So for most leagues it would be tire wear, fuel, and his last lap time as well as his best lap time. It would also tell you what fuel mode he's on. In Formula E it only shows you the battery and how long they have left on attack mode as well as the lap times. In F2 there's only tire wear, there's no fuel and fuel modes. Another thing you need to know is that in GT3 they only have soft tire compound as well as hard tires, and of course inters and wets. So those computers are gonna be your best friend when it comes to engineering. They're gonna tell you all the info you need as well as all the info your driver might need. Okay, but let's move on. So before I made this video, I asked a bunch of engineers in Ion to give me a list of tips and advice for new engineers and everything a new engineer should know. So I asked Dakir's engineer as well as DMAS Plays, who's an engineer in eSpirit I believe, and let's go through the tips they gave me. So first of all, I'm gonna go through the tips that Lion guy gave me. He's Dakir's engineer and he basically gave me some simple tips. First of all, he told me that every engineer needs to use a spreadsheet to record their data and process it. We're gonna get into spreadsheet stuff towards the end of the video. He also said that you need to make sure to point out the crashes to your driver so your driver can avoid them, of course. He also mentioned that you need to work with your driver and also be compatible. He even said that you shouldn't have a set time where you should pit. You should actually just work with your driver and try to figure out the best time of pitting during the race, not have a preset pit time because of strategy and tire wear. You should actually just wait and see how your driver feels about the car during the race to see which strategy is best for you guys. He also said to have a general idea of how long tires can last as well as fuel. And also you need to monitor other drivers to see if they overcut, undercut, and so on. And his tip to knowing when crashes happen is having chat open and just looking at the leaderboard. So if you see a driver going down in the leaderboard, that can either mean they've actually spun or got passed by a couple of people or just crashed out and getting overtaken by everyone. So keep an eye on that. Also chat is a good way. Someone might spam that a crash happened. Now moving on to the tips DMAS Plays gave me. First of all, he gave me tips on how you can get signed as an engineer. You shouldn't wait for a team to approach you first. You should be the one looking for teams to join. Most teams always look for engineers and they always give a chance to any new person who has a mic and can engineer. And yeah, just check the team advertisements and find teams that need an engineer. Also, another important tip is that you need to be active during the race. So I would recommend looking at the schedule for Ion races and see if they are compatible with your own personal schedule. If they aren't, you shouldn't sign as an engineer for any team since you're not gonna make it to any race. Also, just forgetting about a race happening is a bad thing since it might show the team owner that you don't actually care and they might fire you. Another tip he gave me is that you need to be there for your driver when he needs you, because as he says, no one wants an engineer that isn't there to give them tire info or gap to front position and so on. But he emphasized on the info being shared when the driver actually needs it and not shoving all that information in your driver's face and distracting them, because the drivers need their focus during corners so they don't lose time or make mistakes. Maybe you should even have preset times before the race when you agree with your driver to actually give him updates about data. But of course, this is up to the driver's preferences. You're gonna have to talk with your driver and figure out what they actually enjoy. Another important thing he mentioned is that you need to be able to do basic data sheets. If you don't already know how to use data sheets, I'm gonna show you towards the end of the video how you can actually do them. And lastly, he mentioned that you need to be able to calculate how many laps they're gonna be in the race, and call out crashes like Lion Guy said. I believe that's all the useful tips a new engineer might use. And now let's move on to how you can actually use a spreadsheet to collect data. Okay, so we're here in my data processing spreadsheet. I made this one with the help of a couple of people, and I'm gonna be leaving the link to it in the description, and you can use it to your freedom. You can obviously modify it and add stuff that you want. But the first thing you wanna do once you click on the link is you wanna go here where it says data processing sheet. You wanna click on this arrow here. You wanna click on copy to. Click new spreadsheet, and once it copies the spreadsheet, just click on open spreadsheet, and then you're going to be able to edit it. You're not going to be able to edit this one, you're just going to be able to view it. So once you make your own one, you can modify it, add stuff that you want, remove stuff that you don't like, and actually use it. So I'm gonna go step by step to how you can actually use the spreadsheet. By the way, if you want me to add any new feature to the spreadsheet, just comment down below what you want me to add to it, and I'm gonna be sure to consider it for the future. But okay, let's start. So the first simple stuff you need to do is put in here your team name, driver name, engineer, and your setup. This isn't mandatory, it's just to help you organize all your spreadsheets. So if you want to go back and check data for a certain race, you can easily do it. Also name your spreadsheet relevant to the race. So for example, I would do like FP2 Japan and the driver name, just so I would know what the spreadsheet is about and I can easily find it in my spreadsheets list. Okay, but let's explain how it actually works. So you can see light red cells, light yellow cells, and many other cells. So the light red cells are the input, which basically means where you actually give it stuff, you write stuff in it, and the yellow ones are basically the output. So once you fill up the red cells, the yellow cells give you information automatically, so you don't have to keep doing calculations all the time. Obviously you need to know how to do these calculations, but if you can't, this spreadsheet will do everything for you. It's just in case you don't have the spreadsheet available, you need to be able to do this stuff by yourself. Okay, but before I show you what these cells do, you need to be able to know where you get this data from. So like I said earlier, you have a computer in the game that gives you all the data, and the way you can collect it and put it into the spreadsheet, basically you need to have a screenshot app ready. I personally use the snipping tool, and I basically wait for my driver to finish their lap, and I quickly take a screenshot and put in the data in the screenshot in the spreadsheet. You need to be able to do it as soon as they finish the lap, so the data is accurate and it doesn't mess you up. And the good way to take the screenshot as soon as possible is by looking at which sector your driver is in. When you see your driver is in the third sector, you can either spectate him quickly to know where he actually is, and then you can get ready depending on where he actually is in the track, and just have the screenshot thing ready, have the computer in front of you, make sure nothing is blocking it, and just take the screenshot, either post it on Discord or just keep it on your screen, and then you can start putting the data from the screenshot into the actual spreadsheet. So on the actual screenshot, you should see 4 yellow boxes which have the tire wear for each tire, the fuel and the fuel mode, as well as the lap times. So the first thing you need to do is put in the tire compound your driver is on. So let's say my driver is on softs. Make sure you write softs like this. Make sure the spellings are compatible with these spellings right here. The key is right here, you can just go read it if you don't want to watch this video, of course. But you put in the tire compound here. Let's say your driver is gonna do 12 laps on the softs. Instead of writing softs on each cell, you can just, you see this little blue square here, you can just go and click and hold and pull it down, and it should copy and paste into all the cells. Also this comments part here, basically just write if anything abnormal happens with your driver. Let's say they spin or they go wide, you just write goes wide here, so you know why the lap time was higher or something like that, and you know the tires are getting worse or better. Also, same thing for the fuel mode. It's basically the same as the tire compound. You just write whatever fuel mode your driver is in and you pull down so it goes on all the laps. This is important if you want to collect the averages that show up here. Okay, so for the fuel percent, after you check the screenshot when your driver finishes the lap, you're gonna see the fuel percent. You just want to put in the same exact value here. So let's say our driver is on 97.5%. Here it shows up minus 97.5%. This is basically the fuel usage per lap, and the reason it shows like this is because we haven't put in our starting fuel yet. So let's put in the starting fuel at 100, and here it shows you we used 2.5% on that lap alone. Let's say we put in 96.8 here, it shows we used 0.7 fuel per lap, and you can keep doing this for each lap, of course. The tire percent, this is the same as the fuel, although you have 4 tires to choose from. I personally put in the lowest tire percent. Some people do the 4 tires average, basically calculate the average of all the 4 tires and put that in. Whatever works for you, you can do here. So let's put in the tire percent for a driver here. Let's say they go on 96.98, 94.78 and so on. And for the lap time, this is optional. It's just gonna help you figure out if they're faster on the softs, faster on the mediums or the hards and so on. But something you need to be careful of when you're writing the lap time, make sure it's in the seconds. In the computer it shows up in seconds, so just copy the exact same value. Don't change it to minutes because that might mess up the calculations. So let's write 72 seconds, and here they did the 78 seconds, and here they did 74 seconds, and so on. Okay, so let's come here. This is my favorite part about the spreadsheet. Here you can put how many race laps are gonna be in the race, or how many you expect to be in the race. So let's put it at 38, and once you do that, the rest of the calculations are done. So it shows you your average lap time here, your average fuel usage per lap here. It doesn't matter which fuel mode you're on. Your average tire usage per lap. It doesn't matter which tire compound you're on. Here it shows you your total race time. This is just predicted race time. It basically uses your average lap time and it times it by how many race laps. This doesn't include your pit time, of course. This is one of the most important things, especially if you're going to use this for Formula E. This shows you how much expected remaining fuel you're going to have. It basically takes how many race laps they're going to be, multiplies it by your average fuel usage, and then subtracts it from 100 or whatever your starting fuel is, and it keeps getting updated with each lap you're on. So you can use this during the race, and it's going to give you an accurate representation of what fuel your driver is going to finish in. So if you see it in the negative, you can tell your driver to start saving fuel. If you see it like 10% or higher, you can tell your driver to actually start pushing more and use more fuel. And let's move here. This basically shows you the average on each tire. So it shows you the average lap time on each tire compound. So you can tell how much faster the mediums are from the hards, and how much faster the softs are from the mediums and the hards. And this will help get an idea of what the strategy should look like for the race. I don't have a strategy calculator in the spreadsheet. It's too hard to make, and I couldn't figure out how to actually do it. So if you guys can actually make a strategy calculator, let me know in the comments below. So here it shows your average tire wear per lap. So the softs is 2.6 for us here. The mediums might be like 2%, and the hards might be 1.2%. And here it shows your average fuel usage on each fuel mode. And down here, this is another calculator I made. It basically tells you how many laps you should do on each fuel mode, but you can only select 2 fuel modes that you can put in there, because I only have 2 equations that calculate this how many laps thingy, which means I would only have 2 solutions or 2 unknowns, and I couldn't figure out a way to add more equations so we can put in all the fuel modes. So let's say you do some testing and your standard fuel usage is 1.7.1 and your rich fuel usage is about 3.9. It basically tells you how many laps you can do on each fuel mode and be able to finish the race on 0%, for example. So here it tells us you're going to be able to do 20 laps on standard and about 15 laps on rich. But you should be cautious with this. For example, if it tells me 23 and 15 on rich, I'm obviously gonna only do maybe 12 or 13 laps on rich and go on standard more, just in case my driver actually uses more fuel. But if my driver is using less, I'm gonna tell them to go on a higher fuel mode. And I think that sums up everything there is to know about the spreadsheet. I'm gonna leave the link to it in the description. You can go click on all the cells and see how they actually work. You can go here and see how which basically does most of the calculations and so on. If you touch this stuff, it's gonna mess up your spreadsheet, but you can just go back here and make another copy and use it. By the way, for you guys who have been wondering how I use my controller in Ion, I use a PS4 controller, and for that I use an app called DS for Windows. I'm just gonna leave the link to it in the description. Just go download it and plug in your controller with a USB cable to your computer, and it's gonna automatically work if you have your app ready. If it doesn't work, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I think this is it for this video. Let me know if it helped you, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications and leave a like on it, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Goodbye.